Well, once again, a customer has sent me a console modded by Drakon. That's right, I've got another one, and with complaints. I don't have any kind of a story about problems that the guy had with him, other than I know this was modded this past summer, like July of 2014 or something like that. So, I mean, there's plenty of people out there that think Drakon has just disappeared, but no, he's still making videos and still doing mod work as far as I know. So, the complaint I think on this one is something about composite video, and he just wants me to check it out overall. So I'm really interested to see what it looks like on the inside too. But first thing I want to do is just get it hooked up and power on a game and just see what happens. Okay, I was just looking at it, and I don't know if this was Drakon's mistake or the customer started tearing it apart, but one of the screws is not even in all the way that holds the console together. Maybe a silly mistake, who knows. Let's see, and I want RGB here. That looks correct. And S video. Now you can see that. And that looks correct. And then composite video. Nothing. So I guess we'll take it apart and see what happens, what it looks like on the inside. This is going to be my first look into it too. I'm hoping to see less hot glue than the previous one we took apart, but who knows. Some people are hard-headed and never change their ways. Oh my. Definitely cleaner. Looks like the palette is set for normal all the time. We do have the two proper jumpers. And it looks like composite is soldered in. I really don't like this though. I don't see why he even cut that out of here. There's absolutely no reason for it. And that's that hot glue string right on the 7805. Yeah. I don't know what the fascination with cutting the heatsink is off. There's even hot glue on the cap here. The cap's not been upgraded. The 7805 hasn't been upgraded, which it may not be bad, but those are a couple upgrades I'd do just because of the extra draw from the NSRGB. What is all that? That thing has just been beat to shit right there. What the hell's he doing with that thing? Wow, he didn't even put the two screws in back in for the multi-out that hold the multi-out down, and they were clear. What? He's cut away the plastic here. Now this, I know why he did this, because his ribbon cable is down here. Oh my god. There's hot glue over 3/4 of this board has hot glue smeared on the bottom of it. Good Lord. Why? Well, That is a pretty crusty soldering job right there. Most of it looks okay. Got 2 resistors in series right here. Why not just get a resistor that is the exact size needed? I don't know. Super weird. I want to say, when I do it, I definitely don't cut any plastic off from here. I sure as hell don't cut any heat sink off. There's absolutely no reason to. I replaced the cap, put a higher amp 7805 on there. There doesn't seem to be anything supporting the NSRGB from the front, which, you know, sockets are plenty tight, but it's just extra protection that could be there. Not a huge reason to put the zip ties on there. He's got the ribbon cable securely tied, but the actual NSRGB itself is not as secure as the ribbon cable. I mean, it wasn't my idea, but the whole idea with putting the towers of hot glue in between them and then melting it a little bit to keep it in place was a fantastic idea, and that's what I do now. But this is kind of a mess right here. I'm assuming this is his version of expansion audio. Look, there's one wire coming into this zip tied electrical tape and 2 wires on the other side. So if they're disconnected, why zip tie it? And that's crazy. And of course the AV Famicom, I think it had a bottom RF shield down here and it's gone. Expansion port cover still there. Looks like there's some soldering going on here. Like maybe he was trying to do stereo mod there, and then looks like this chip's been replaced. I think that's is that the 373? Yeah. 373. Looks like he's put an HC version in there, which we've already established is not necessary on the NSRGB. Oh my god. Well, I didn't see that. Okay, so yeah, this cap is for composite video output, right? That one right here. It is tall, so you do need to bend it over to make this thing fit. That one I don't remember having to bend that one over. Of course, I don't remember it being that size either. Maybe he put that one in there. I think it was this size. Yeah, I believe they were both this size. Well, anyway, composite output video. This cap is for the circuit on the Famicom, and I've mentioned this in places, but unless you're turning the NSRGB off, the onboard composite video circuitry is unnecessary. So you can just remove this cap completely and it's not going to affect anything. You have to actually have the switch to turn the NSRGB off completely to use the original composite video output circuitry. So there is a bunch of time wasted right there, Drakon, that you don't need to worry about. Just remove that cap completely. I know I posted that on the Shmups forum, but it probably did not get integrated into Tim's instruction sheets. I'd really like to know what the hell this is all about. And this. It's like his dog got a hold of it. There's no marks on the bottom. So he's not using the NSRGB's audio. So apparently he's come up with some better audio circuitry. I don't get it. If you're not doing stereo, or if you're trying to mix in better expansion audio, because that is the problem with these, is the expansion audio is super loud compared to the regular audio. And seriously, would it kill you to take 2 seconds to get this shit off here? I don't understand why there's all this hot glue all over the whole fucking board. It's just like smeared on. And then obviously he's ran back over it with hot air or something and just melted it further down on there. This is just insane. It's not nearly as bad as the front loader we took apart, but I guess we're really only worried about composite video. It looks like he's scratched a few traces here. I don't want to say that might be the composite video trace running up through there. He's severed it there, but he had to add the cap back in over here. I don't know. I'm very critical of his work because he's been doing it so long. Some of this stuff he should be figuring out. And people need to see shit like this and be like, oh yeah, I definitely do not want that done to my console. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna poke around with the multimeter, which apparently he also doesn't have or know how to use, from what I hear. I hope that changes soon. Let's see, I think I'm gonna plug in a multi-out here just for ease. Alright, so I've got my multi-out plugged into the back, and I should have continuity from here straight to the V pin. And of course I do not. That son of a bitch. I don't know why he does this. He's got composite sync hooked up to the composite video. There's just no need for that. Basically, I think it's like a theory that the video looks better if you use composite sync instead of composite video for your sync source. The problem is that you can just buy a different multi-out cable to make that happen. And then that way, if you want to use composite video, it's there. So he's got a wire there for composite video. I wonder where that goes. Maybe to composite sync, which would be pin 3, looks like, maybe. Nope. That is also. He's got composite sync and composite video pins on the multi-out connected together. So where the hell did he run composite video? Looks like it's the second wire. Ah. That comes into here, which runs back down to this trace, looks like. I get that wrong? Well, I'm dying to know what the hell's under that stupid zip tie. And I use plenty of electrical tape, like in my stereo mods especially. I mean, this stuff is pretty sticky. I just don't follow the logic of his zip tying it on top of that, unless he just thinks he's going to keep somebody from doing what I'm doing right now. That's pretty much what I thought. The zip tie and the electrical tape was only there to hold the composite video away from touching anything, basically, because there was no connection on that wire, and the composite video is just dangling there. Can you see that very well? There's the composite video wire. And here's the wire it was electrical tape and zip tied to. Okay, so basically I'm just going to remove his bridge and wire those two wires back up the way they should be, and then just put it back together. No reason to clean all that off there. Just probably end up making more of a mess, or one of his connections will come loose because he relies on hot glue to keep them together instead of good soldering, apparently. Here's a good close-up of the sink and bridge going to the two pins. Here's some of the soldering, I'm going to call it that. Let's say that those two pins right there, I want to say he was attempting a stereo mod there, because that's pin 1 and 2 of the CPU audio. And there's the replacement 373, so maybe this used to have a Place Choice 10 RGB mod on it. There's the pins on the PPU, which a lot of that is just flux, which if you're trying to be a little bit professional, you just clean that off there. Keep it looking from like that. And this is his audio wiring mess. 2 series resistors. Maybe that is soldered down right there. Can't tell if it's just hot glued. I think it's just hot glued down. I don't think that's soldered right there, but kind of hard to get that into the light just to see how much freaking hot glue is all over this thing. And that's the cart connector. Why is there hot glue on the cart connector? Okay, so now we should have composite video. There it is. So I guess the real lesson here is to know what you're getting. I don't know that he says anywhere that he does it this way on his page or his email that he sends people about what he does. But it's another example of the person doing the mod or offering the kit or whatever trying to impose their opinion onto the customer. He thinks composite sync is a better source for sync than composite video, and he's probably right, but that doesn't matter. He also thinks that S-video is like more than you need for video quality. That doesn't matter either. Opinion aside, it doesn't matter because most new TVs don't have S-video. People either want RGB or they want RGB out so they can convert it. You know, they're not really using S-video or composite, but if they want it, then it better be there. That's all I'm saying. So, kind of a good thing that he wasn't using as much hot glue, but I'm still really concerned about most of his practices. Still a lot of hot glue on the bottom of that board for no reason. You know, and the cap being taken out and then resoldered in place and then hot glued down when it doesn't even need to be there just shows you that he still needs to learn some stuff. And that's fine, but he's been around long enough that he should have known this stuff, and he should be reading stuff like the post that I put on Shmups about removing that cap. You know, you're not going to turn off the NSRGB in a top loader Navy Famicom because there's not room for that giant 4-position switch. So remove the original composite circuitry inside there. It's simple. So I think that's all that's going to be shot for this Drakon console. Unfortunately, not as big as a shocker as the last one, but who knows, maybe we'll get some more in the future. So I emailed the customer, and yes, there is a little bit more to the story. Apparently in April of 2014 he wanted me to do the original mod work, and of course at that point I was turning everybody down and saying wait till October, but I was also referring them to Apollo Boy, who is one of the few other modders out there that I trust to do proper work. What I didn't say was try to avoid using Drakon, and somehow I ended up using him. And Drakon charged $130 for the work that you just seen. That's like 3 times more expensive than the rest of us charge for the same thing. I don't understand why. Well, no, I do understand why. Because Drakon spent 5-6 hours smearing hot glue all over everything and then removing it to redo his work, you know, and then re-hot gluing it and then hot airing it so it looks smooth, and it's just a waste of time. That's the problem here, is all that time spent doing hot glue and wasting time and not using proper tools to check for potential problems or whatever is just adding time to the mod. And the more time you spend on something, the more you have to charge. That's all there is to it. So that's why I'm only charging $45 to install the NASRGB, because I can do it pretty quickly. And yes, the customer did provide the NASRGB, so that was not part of the bill. It was just the labor, the service charge, $130. That's crazy. What else? Oh, the guy was upset with Drakon because the console that he received back was only like 2/3 of the original console. Somehow, Drakon sent back his AV Famicom with a different bottom half of the shell, so it has a different serial number. Really? Are you shitting me? And no, it did not have a Play Choice 10 mod. It was a bone stock AV Famicom when he sent it. Crazy.